we don't feel pressure. We feel very happy to be here. I don't think we should feel pressure to play at home. I think we should feel power to be playing at home, support, and not pressure. The pressure in terms of performance is part of our DNA. I don't worry about having to have results, or I mean, that's my whole life. As far as I remember, I have always to have performances on the field. And of course, when you play for the national team of Cameroon, it's the same thing. These players know that when they play for Cameroon, they need to give their best. And that's what we're going to do again. Give the best and fight for the victory. Every match. But for sure, we want to feel that we have an advantage playing home, not a disadvantage. So I would like to change the word pressure into support, into positive energy, and that's mainly how we feel as well, really. And I mean, all the expectations, which is maybe what you also refer to, is normal. I mean, this is, I think, the minimum that we should expect from the fans here, that they expect the best from the team. But we will prepare ourselves well for the match, and we're really happy to be able to play this first match home and in front of our own public and in our own stadium, and eager to start this match, really. So, I don't know, he was called the last time with one of the three young players that we wanted to see, also because we want to stimulate the young players to make the proper decisions in their career, as we are looking at all players. And we are building something not only for Khan, as I said, but also for after. So the younger players that are coming up, we want to see them personally, and that's what happened in the last camp. And we have to say that he was, yes, he had a really good performance during that week, and that's why this time, also due to other players that want to think a little bit more if they come, don't come, we decided to put him on the list. He deserved a chance, and we'll see if he can maintain his performance like last camp as well. He's very young, so he don't have any pressure. We're just going to give him the time to grow and to be with the big boys and to find his chance. I don't really have a lot to say because Christian Bassabok is here. So, I mean, if you would have really listened carefully to my first press conference, my interview that I did in the last camp, it was quite clear that nothing was particular to him or to Christian. It was really focused on the young players that still are playing in other places, or maybe here in Cameroon, before to go and make a choice to go to play in secondary leagues, to try to make a career first. But I mean, it's a pity, but I mean, everybody is responsible for his own decisions, and there was, as you can imagine, nothing against him or anybody who was playing in China already, or in other places in the world that we consider, let's say, not the best best leagues in the world at the moment. But it's something that hopefully will open the eyes of all the players, that we consider every player that can be eventually part of the Cameroon team. We consider them all, but we said clearly that we have a list of criteria that we go follow, but that doesn't mean that we close any doors for anybody. Last time against Comoros, we had the team only 1.5 days together. so full, because some players were playing still on Monday. It was quite difficult, of course. So for me, the journey really starts now. We have, as you also properly said, now something to analyze of our game. The first match, you can imagine that we didn't have any kind of influence for the first match in terms of tactical or technical preparation, because you don't do that in 3 days, 2 days, and for sure not in 1 day. But we've seen a lot of things, but the most important thing is that it was a positive spirit of the team. You know, going for it was not an easy preparation, and Comoros, of course, used to play on that kind of field, those type of conditions. But we like the spirit. We got from not so good to better football second half. Of course, we're far away from where we can be in terms of potential, but that's why we're working. We cannot think that we will be able to have everything how we want in 2 matches. That doesn't exist, especially when you work with national teams, when you don't have the players every day. So we all need to be very patient and look to the final goal, which is to be prepared for CAN. And every match that we will play, we're going to try to make the maximum. As I said, we want to win the group. That's the aim, because then we can create a proper mentality as well. And also the players need to show that they want to be part and can be part of the last 23, which is the motivation they should have for the matches to come. Nyom, because we want to see players, and for now we think that some other players are the ones that we need to work with for this time. We have fortunately options, and that's why the players need to be aware that practically no position is a guarantee, because there is competition, and that's what we like. That is very important, but also we want to try to make a group which understands what we want to do and has the right team spirit, which is the first thing that we built. Team spirit, and then all the technical stuff will be okay. First, you talk about Oberling?
Yes.
Yes. Well, we have spoken with Oberling before sending the invitation. And as I said, there was no yes or no. But I am also not going to debate publicly, you know, what has been before. It's a responsibility of each player how to respond. And if his father decided to do what he did that publicly, I mean, this is his decision. I mean, we respect all of that. I actually also talked with the coach of Swiss. We are doing proper job. I mean, we're working on things, and we know the protocols, we know the respect we need to have for the players. But then also I'm going to say something different. It's a courtesy. It's a courtesy of the coach of a national team to call a player before he is being called. It's not an obligation. So we are having the courtesy to call the players out of respect, because we think it's our style. We want to communicate and understand. But in my times, you will be waiting like this on the table to see your name on the list. And so, you know, that should be the spirit of the players. Waiting to see your name on that list. Now, there are players who never came to play for Cameroon, so that's why we called him before. All of them before. Don't have any doubt about that, because we know that could eventually backfire, if, as you said. But for the young players, let's say that we understand there's a difficulty, because there are players that are born in France, younger generation. So we need to respect that some will need more time to find their proper position in the market of football. Because we have Deco, remember Deco from Portugal, Brazilian player. He decided at a certain moment that if he waits for Brazilian team, he won't play any World Cup. So he decided to go with Portugal. this is how the world works today. We have in Italy, we have Argentina player who won the World Cup. The globalization has created this movement. And so the players need to understand that if they want to play a World Cup, they need to understand their chances with one national team or other national team. And the moment they get a call from us, means that we consider them potential players for the national team for the future. But we also understand that some of them, want to wait a little bit longer. That is what we respect. On the other side, we will move on straight because we have a mission to accomplish, and that is to find as fast as possible our ideal 23 players for next CAN. Why do we call him? First, he is one of the biggest talents that we have around. And even if he is going through a difficult period with his club, as I said before, we are working towards CAN. And I think it's important for us also to support our players in certain moments. We are confident that he's very motivated. Sometimes players don't play with the clubs. Sometimes they play a lot and they don't play good. But we want to see him here, and we want to embrace him as he made a choice to come and play for Cameroon, which is, I think, a fantastic statement that he made. As before this moment, he never came before. So we want to support him in this moment that he's going through, and give him the opportunity to feel some love from his country, and hopefully that will help him to get back in the first 11 of his team, and then support us, all the way. Yeah. So again, we know that there are quite some players there who have the possibility to have double nationality. We have contacted quite a few, which we are not going to share publicly because, as I said, we don't want to put anybody in any kind of pressure or difficulty unless the answers are not clear. So I think that we have enough players that we know that don't have any issue. But those who have never chosen before, we need to be patient and try to work towards, even the future, even after CAN. I mean, some are 22, 23. Some are hoping still for the French national team or other national team, Swiss national team, or whatever they are, which is part of the world. Some and most of them were born, the younger players in that country. So we don't need to blame them. It's just they need maybe a little bit more time to understand what their opportunities are and where they are. And meanwhile, we're not going to wait. Meanwhile, we continue to build with those players that we know we can count on and who really want to come and have no problem of the decision to play for Cameroon. Okay, well, there's no exclusion of players. There's no reason why we don't pick players. There's a reason why we pick players. And the players we pick is because we think they can fit in what we're planning. Also, we're not looking at 2017, because after 2017 there was World Cup, and I didn't see Cameroon in World Cup. So everything needs to be done again. We need to build again. In sport and in football, the past is important because we can learn from it. For sure, sometimes we leave a legacy because it's important to win CAN. But then also after that, it would have been wonderful to see the team get better and grow and go to the World Cup and continue. That didn't happen. So for me, we start zero, and everybody has the same chances. So if they continue to perform, we are looking at all the players that can be part of the team. So there's no exclusion on personal level. It's just we are trying to understand and build on the players that we have called upon until now. Well, we're going to start today. First, we want to wait, of course, to have all the players here. We have some new players that we're going to see for the first time. Others have been here already. We're going to build slowly, but start obviously with some tactical work. We don't have a lot of time, so we're going to try to be with them on the field as much as possible without exaggerating in terms of intensity, but I think it's important, as we told them, everything we do now is going to benefit, our preparation before CAN, when we will have more time to be together every day. So everybody will make an effort to, to understand what we want and to start bit by bit implementing what we want. Of course, I hope you understand that we lost quite some important players with Bauk and Abu Bakar. So, to give continuity to work, we would need to play or at least have 90% of the players together for a longer period. But this is not an excuse. I'm just saying how it is, that we need to have the proper expectations. And to really think about the future. What are we building? Every time we go on the field, we are putting one brick more to build our solid house, and that's what we are doing. Well, Matip is obviously an important player that we have already spoken with before our first match, and he was injured then. So we're giving him the time to get back, with some minutes, and with some players we don't need to rush. I think for him it's important to, at least that's also what he asked, then to have some time to really get back in shape, and let's see the future what it will bring. But we are obviously aware about